Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new, my name is Michelle. I am a mom of two boys. My youngest son is 8 months old now, and I am still exclusively breastfeeding him, so I'm exclusively pumping. And I'm just gonna do, now that I'm back at work, I'm just gonna do like a little updated pumping routine. So it's Sunday, so it's the beginning of my work week. It is 4 o'clock in the morning right now, and I'm about to start my first pump. So I do the pitcher method where you combine all your breast milk that you made for one day into a little pitcher. I'm officially an underproducer, and so this little pitcher is all that I need for the day. But then in the morning when I wake up, I'm going to make these into bottles for him for the day. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that right now. Okay, so here's everything that I pumped yesterday and what he will be eating today. So I made 21 ounces yesterday. So like I said, I have become an underproducer. He generally eats around like 30 ounces. So I've been using the last of my freezer stash. I have 13 bottles left in the freezer to use. So we're trying to supplement with like more foods so we can make this last a little bit longer. Since he is about 8 months old, like he can start eating a lot more foods, and I think we can make it work. So I'm gonna go ahead and put these in the fridge and get all my pumping stuff together. Okay, so I do exclusively pump with the Lancino hand pump. You can use whatever you want. I started out with the Spectra S1 or S2, or actually both of them. However, I feel like I wasn't producing very much, and when I would stop, my nipples would be like super painful and they would be like white. And so I struggled really hard finding like the right flange size. Nothing I did seemed to work. And so I remember with my first son, Liam, I used the Lancino hand pump and I freaking loved it. So I was like, why the heck am I not using this right now? Because I remember I loved it so much, and I tried it again and I still absolutely love it. And so I will only ever use this, and it's so easy, like taking it to work. Like I don't have to have that huge electric pump. I can literally pump anywhere just because I don't have to make sure there's an outlet. So I love this. There's also the Medela hand pump. A lot of people seem to love that one. I've personally never tried it before. But I also use the Haka over here for the other boob. So my first morning pump generally takes me about an hour to an hour and a half using the hand pump, which might seem like torture to some people, but I've just gotten used to it, honestly. But my first pump is like so crucial because I literally get probably like 80 to 90% of my daily supply from my morning pump. So I like to wake up really early and make sure I can get a nice long pump out of it. So I'll sit there, enjoy my coffee, and pump. So I'm gonna go get my coffee and let's get started. Okay, so I just finished my first morning pump. On average, I tend to get about between 11 to 13 ounces for my first morning pump. And like I said, that is like 90% of my supply for the day. I really try not to get less than 10. But today, sadly, I only did get 9 ounces. So I have to try to make up for that throughout the day. I have been struggling a little bit these past couple weeks to keep my supply up. I tried to start losing weight, and so I cut back on some calories, and that completely like dropped my supply. So I'm not doing that anymore, and I've been trying to get it back up. But here's my first morning pump, and I will see you for my next pump. Alrighty, so it is about 8:30 in the morning, so it's time for my second pump of the day. We don't have like a designated room where I work. I work at an urgent care, and so I'm upstairs in cardiology in like an old office that they don't really use anymore. So they were nice enough to let us use this little like empty office. Anyway, I have my little setup right here. So I never used to use the Haka during like normal pumps. I would only use it for my first morning pump, but I've been using it for all the rest of my pumps lately, and I'm getting like a ½ ounce, so I do like to do that still. I have my little snack and my water. I do try to drink 3 of these 32-ounce water bottles a day. That's my first bottle, and I barely drink any so far, so I need to make sure I finish that by the time I'm done pumping, and I will see you when I'm done. Alrighty, so it's just after 9 o'clock now. So it took me about 30 minutes to pump. This is from both sides combined. So I got about 4.5 ounces. I only got a few drops from the Haka, which I already added in here. So that brings me to a total of 13.5 ounces for the day. And I will see you for my next pump. Alrighty, so it is now 11 o'clock, so it's time for my lunch. I was kind of planning on going home for lunch, but it takes me like 10 to 15 minutes to get home, and honestly, I don't like feeling that rush to just like get a quick pump in and then try to like shove food down my face. And so I ended up just deciding to stay here and pump here, so I could get maybe a little bit extra, just because I am trying to increase my supply a little bit. So like rushing my pump isn't exactly the best thing to do. So I'm gonna go ahead and pump, and then I'll show you what I got after. Alrighty, so I'm all done with my third pump. I only got 2 ounces this time. But I don't think I mentioned earlier that since going back to work, I pump about every 3 to 4 hours. So I count it from like start to start. So if I start at 10 o'clock, then 3 hours would be 1 o'clock. Even though it takes me like 30 minutes to pump, I don't count from like 10:30. Anyway, the only time I count from the end is for my first morning pump, because it does take me so long. So my first morning pump was at 5:30, and then my second pump was at 8:30, so that was 3 hours there. And so my lunch is scheduled at 11 o'clock on Sundays, and so I try to do it as like even as possible. But since I do have to go at 11, I did have to pump after 2.5 hours. So I do notice if I wait longer, like closer to 4 hours, I tend to get a little bit more. And when I do less, like 2.5 hours, I make a lot less. Like on my lunchtime, I tend to make, I think, the least amount for the day for some reason. But anyway, just want to throw that out there. I do pump about every 3 to 4 hours, and on average I am about 5 pumps per day now at 8 months postpartum. I will see you guys for my 4th pump. Okay, so it is now 3 o'clock and it's time for my 4th pump. I don't think I mentioned this before, but I work 10 hours a day. I get a pumping break for before my lunch, and then obviously on my lunch I get to pump, and then I get another pumping break after my lunch. So since my lunch, it's been 4 hours. So that's kind of like the latest that I will go. So I'm gonna go ahead and pump, and I'll be back. Okay, so for my 4th pump, I got 4 ounces. So that brings me to a total of 19.5 ounces for the day so far. Like I said in the beginning of this video, I have become an underproducer. I would like to make around 30 or more ounces a day, but I just never really have. That is what I have for right now. So that was my last pump while at work. I still have one more pump. When I get home, I'll probably do it around like 6:30, 7 o'clock, which will be about 4 hours from now. And I'm gonna call that my last pump. So because I wake up so early in the morning, I don't like to pump super late because I'm usually in bed by like 9 o'clock. So 7 o'clock I think is a good ending point for me. But I will see you for my last pump. Okay, so I'm off work now and I'm home. And I'm about to do my last pump of the night. It is 7:30 now. I did want to do it at around like 7. But Roger surprised me with a nice Valentine's dinner. So we just got him on dinner and I'm going to go pump. Okay, so it's about 8:30 now. I just finished my last pump of the night. I got 3 ounces. And so that's a total of 22.5 ounces for the day. I do have to get up at like 3:30 in the morning and do it all over again. So I am going to call this a night. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.